Shoot to grill, aim to chill. Too many cold ones, I need an Advil, yeah. Shoot to grill, I can't kill. So don't bring me nothing that's got chlorophyll, yeah.
All right, so here is episode 1 of Shoot to Grill. My name is Jason Bailey, and the whole idea behind this podcast is to mix grilling, in which I love, and also a little outside the grilling, like rock and roll, in which we have today. Get to that here in just a second. So we're going to be doing these podcasts from Atlanta Grill Company in Roswell, Georgia, where I get all of my grilling needs for my KJ, my Kamado Joe. And I want to introduce my guests. First and foremost, our chef, our guest griller, Rashid, or you can call him Sheed, from PhillipsBarbecueCo.com. What's up, my friend?
How's it going, brother? Thanks for having me out here, man.
Yeah, dude. And then our celebrity guest this week is a good buddy of mine. He is the guitarist for the band Fozzy. He was in Stuck Mojo. He never gets his due mic time. It is the Duke of Metal, Rich Ward. Rich, thanks for being here, brother.
Thank you. It's awesome to be here. And listen, I've already talked off camera to Sheed for like the last 30 minutes, and like I feel like I'm 10 points of IQ smarter on food. This is amazing.
He makes some great grub. We met Sheed, I guess it's been about 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years now.
And for the radio thing that I do, you did brisket and you did all kinds of stuff for us. And it's cool what we have here at the Atlanta Grill Company is because, like, I was worried, to be honest with you. I was like, this is going to look so Bush League. We're going to have a couple tables and some chairs. We're going to be idiots in a parking lot. But this is actually really cool because they have this built out at the Atlanta Grill Company, and we're going to use the Kamado Joe. And so the original thought for the first episode of Shoot to Grill was like, let's do something easy. She just do some, we could get the Joe Tisserie, and we could just do some wings. And then Rich texts me and he goes, actually,
text of shame.
You tell everybody what the text said, please.
No.
So you sent me a text and said, hey, I'm doing this podcast. I'd love to have you on to talk about
first guest.
Yes,
first celebrity
guest.
guest.
I was so honored, and said, hey, we're gonna talk about grilling and rock and roll. And I was like, of course, I'd love to do it. And then I let it stew for a good 24 hours, and I thought, maybe I should tell him I don't eat meat. At what point do I break the news? Do I do it on camera and like I'm that guy? Because the thing is that there are two types of people who don't eat meat. People who can't wait to tell you that they don't eat meat, like because it's like a badge of honor, like so they can shame you. And then there's the people who just don't eat it and would prefer to like not talk about it. And I'm that person. And I just didn't want to bring it up because there was a bit of shame because this is a bro hang talking about grilling. And then I got to be the guy that talks about tofu.
Well, I'm like the modern day rock star. You know, you hear the stories of Aerosmith in the back and they're all healthy now and whatnot, no sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So I'm thinking when Rich texts me that he's a vegetarian, I'm like, I could get a hold of Sheed and see if he can do veggie wings, if that's even a thing. And it was funny before we started rolling, you were like, yeah, man, I can do veggie just about anything you need. I heard you guys
talking. A car
talking.
made of corn.
Exactly.
I can make anything out of vegetables.
Whatever you want, I can do it.
So Jason from the Atlanta Grill Company had already started heating up the Kamado Joe, and that's what we're going to be grilling on. And each week our meats are going to be supplied. My buddy Terry owns mobilemeatandseafood.com. He's got like a refrigerator on wheels. So I play tennis with this dude, and he like literally tries to sell meat to everybody. He's one of the nicest dudes you could possibly meet. No pun intended, but he's got every meat in the back of his truck. It's pretty damn cool. So I had to go back to him after I got the wings, and I said, dude, I need some fish. And I think, Sheed, when you were talking to our producer, Nate, you were like, salmon or swordfish. So I was able to get Norwegian salmon from mobilemeatandseafood.com. So explain what you're going to be doing over there on the KJ.
All right, on the KJ, we're still going to be serving up some wings. I'm sorry. You won't have to partake. I brought them. They're ready. They're brine. Trust me.
Oh, you're doing both?
Oh, yeah, we're doing both.
Oh, can they touch?
Of course. Listen,
Or-
I'm not in PETA. Listen.
Is that like a kosher thing? I
Yeah,
didn't know if they
I
can
don't
touch
know.
about it.
No,
I can use different tongs if that's what's got to happen.
Like, what's the movie Grown Ups when, they can't have the bacon touch the elephant in your pancakes? And
Yeah.
I'm like, all right,
Separate
okay, so they can
everything.
touch for Rich. Go ahead. Sorry,
We can
Sheik.
touch. So we're going to be doing some smoked salmon for you, some wings for us, and everyone else who wants. But real nice, simple flavor. This is my AP rub, all-purpose rub. Put it on everything, and it just tastes great. A lot of different notes in there. Still get that smokiness, but it's not going to cover up the real meat taste or salmon.
Would you
taste.
call this? Is this? You said your AP rub? It sounds
That's
like
my
something
AP
you get
rub.
at one of those Asian massage parlors.
That's a different type of rub. There's no craft here.
All right, so you make this.
I make that.
Phillips Barbecue Co. Okay, so you're going to put this on the salmon and the wings.
Exactly. It's already been on the wings. So little prep if you're doing wings. It's game night. The next night, get your wings, brine them in a little bit of salt, water, and a little sprinkle of fennel. Yeah, see, it's coming back.
Fennel.
It's coming back. Fennel.
Yeah, well,
Don't hold
back.
back.
I think it's important to explain because, for me, when my wife got me a Kamado Joe, I guess it was Father's Day last year, right, from the Atlanta Grill Company, bring it home, and I'm blowing Jason up all the time on the phone going, all right, so I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and it's a learning curve from your typical propane grill, which you just kick on, which there's nothing wrong with.
Not at all.
Your propane grill. This is just a different taste. The Kamado is actually a cooking process. The Kamado,
Exactly.
yes.
It
This
really
is all. I know it's all Greek to you, Rich.
My favorite was the no offense. It is 2019. You have to say that in front of everything.
Everybody, just
No
in case.
offense to guys who like propane and propane accessories.
Exactly.
It's just a different. It's a different lifestyle. I mean, we've got a propane up at the cabin, and we've got a propane at the house too. We got a propane right next to the KJ. So
No offense to people who live in apartments.
Or condos, high rises, duplex, anything like that.
or on the streets, whatever.
Or tiny homes, because that's a big thing now. It's a tiny home
So
a big thing?
it's a tiny home's a big thing, especially here in
Fire risk
Atlanta.
if you live in a tiny home and have a grill inside,
Yeah,
though.
that's
Just
true.
for all you kids out there who have tiny homes.
Don't smoke in tiny.
So for those that are I don't consider myself an expert griller by no stretch of the imagination, but I'm not an amateur. It's a learning curve. But you are the expert. So explain how the cooking process with the salmon and the wings, how do it taste different, like on a propane grill, and setting up the lump charcoal.
All right, so if you're using a propane grill, you're just using direct heat. That's really all it is. It's no different than making an egg at home on the stove. You're putting your item there, the heat's coming up straight from the bottom. There's no flavor. Propane doesn't flavor anything. I don't care what Hank Hill says, propane and propane accessories,
Right.
it's not working for you.
Gotcha.
So what we're going to be doing here with the KJ is we've got lump coal, and charcoal has a great flavor. You want anything to taste good, put coal on it, and then put a nice piece of pecan, hickory, cherry wood on top. Just get that extra little smokiness.
Yeah.
If you really, really want to get to it, let a little bit of that grease hiss down and hit those coals. Pops back up, adds additional smoke flavor. You really can't go wrong.
Don't you want to be a meat eater again, dude? What's
Just
Grill porn.
Please come to this side. We've got brisket, ribs, pulled pork.
I've had them.
Everything.
They're
I know.
delicious.
You
do the
haven't
rest
had mine.
do the rest of the guys in Fozzy like Jericho? Are they meat eaters? They're all meat eaters.
Of course. I'm the outcast.
So you have to have the special diet in the back when you guys are on tour.
Hey, I'm the guy on the plane that gets his meal first. I don't know if you've ever seen
yeah,
it. The
yeah,
vegetarian,
that's
they
true.
bring it down.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
That's true.
who's lame now?
Rich Ward, the high maintenance guy.
That's right.
The
They put the
guitarist is
sticker-
always the high maintenance guy.
Put a
you go.
bib on me, a mouthpiece, a helmet, a little
Every
sticker, special.
Yeah, actually, when Fozzy's performing, Rich has got a special section on stage, so because he's so high maintenance.
Fresh juice. Yeah.
So you're going to do all these different things, and
Yep.
and it's important when you're dealing with a grill like a Kamado Joe that you prep early because it takes a minute for it to heat up,
Definitely.
and that's another thing that people struggle with the learning curve that I was talking about with these types of smokers is how to control the temperature.
Yeah, it's all about that airflow. It's all about that airflow. A huge common misconception. I've got a KJ, but my big go-to, my baby, her name's Ebony Pearl, call her Pearl for short.
Yeah.
She's a 10-foot long steel, 7 foot high, 5 feet wide stick burner. It's just a monstrous of a beast, and she takes about a good hour to get warm.
Yeah.
This guy, your KJ, probably not as long, but you got to start early. You don't want to do this. This isn't one of these, I'm home at 5, I'm put the meat on at 5:15.
Right.
No, you've got to prep it, get it going, and you don't want to put your meat on while you're getting to your optimum temperature, because it's going to start cooking. Let it get hot, then throttle down. That's the best way to do it.
So what I learned, because when I started, I was just smoking everything. What?
We're still talking about meats here.
And then I ate Doritos. So I was smoking everything because I was excited, to put the ribs on there and do all that. And then I got into the grilling, and so I started to do the wings and also steaks. What I learned was, the more oxygen, the hotter it gets.
Yeah.
I just drink for being stupid. I really, Boy Scout never was my thing. So you want to go ahead and start, Cheat? And then we'll get some, because, we're doing this podcast, obviously you're listening to it, but also we have the video element. I want to have my beautiful wife, Rachel, come over and get some close-ups of you going over to the KJ.
Nice.
You can take the mic with you if you want. There's a stand, and you
deal.
can kind of talk to us while you're putting the salmon and stuff. Have you already put it on?
No, I haven't put it on yet.
Oh, okay. We'll go. Yeah,
Is there a temperature difference between a propane grill and the KJ?
Sort of. So you can get really hot really fast on propane. Can't get hot fast in a KJ. You can get really hot, hotter than you probably can on a propane, but I prefer a KJ for control. Just the way they're shaped, it allows that heat to move around. So think of a convection oven. You don't want your heat just in one spot. You want to rotate and circulate, and get that airflow shooting from the bottom up. Just keeps that heat moving, and nice control of your meat.
Doesn't it sound cool? Don't you
want? You want to come back.
Rich,
I see that twinkle in your eye.
Rich doesn't even have a grill.
Oh, that's
what? Like he's the best.
Can we do something about that, Rich? Can we help him out?
He's the best guest to be on episode 1 of Shoot to Grill, a vegetarian that doesn't own a grill.
Gosh, we got to do a better screening for episode 2.
The casting call for this podcast was very lackluster. Let me tell you. Rich was the only one that showed up. He was like, we're not on tour. Fozzy's not on tour. I need something to do with my time. Hey, give us 30 seconds so we can thank some good people for making this happen. Live rebelliously, drink responsibly with Bedlam Vodka. I tell you, they're the best at what they do. I am in love with Bedlam Vodka. Goes down smooth, has consistency. Demand your Bedlam Vodka, and we appreciate Bedlam Vodka for sponsoring the Shoot to Grill podcast. BedlamVodka.com. See, that wasn't bad. Now back to the Shoot to Grill podcast. All right, so
Jericho likes ribs.
Jericho likes ribs.
Yeah, if it came from an animal, Jericho is eating it.
Maybe if he's not over at Dallas's place doing his DDPY yoga thing, he'll come and join us.
He's in Breckenridge skiing right now.
After buying his big house in Tampa. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and start the grill.
All right.
Rich and I will chit chat while you're getting that ready to rock and roll. So this is exciting for you because
absolutely because I get to eat some amazing food.
And you got salmon. I mean, we catered to you.
Yes.
I mean,
and I just started eating fish again about 6 months ago.
What the hell were you eating? Sticks? Grass?
Well, sticks and grass. I mean, think about the indigenous people, man. I mean, come on.
I mean,
we're as a species, we're millions of years old.
You guys just got off the road. Fozzy was out on the road. And you actually you took the guys from the Stir with you.
Yes.
Right? And which are Tanner and Andrew. Amazing.
Love those guys.
Fantastic. The local band, we're doing this from Atlanta, but amazing band that are going to do big things here in the near future. So you guys are on a little bit of a hiatus, I'm guessing, while your lead singer gets ready to go and wrestle for a new promotion.
Yeah, we always have this cycle, and the cycle is we make a record, we tour for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Jericho goes back and wrestles, and we make a new record while he's wrestling because he doesn't have to be in the studio every day. So he just has to come in for occasional writing sessions and then comes in to,
Well, and I said you were high maintenance. Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, Chris. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so right now it's a Monday, Wednesday, Friday is our writing schedule. So it's me and a producer in a room 3 days a week, and then we have homework on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And
well, the big pop for Fozzy was this past album, and Judas blew up. And when Fozzy, you guys really got together 99, 2000, and
Yes.
that was you and Chris. And you've always been a wrestling fan, and I don't know. I forget the whole story. Actually, you met Chris at an event or something. You guys just kind of connected.
Well, my old band Stuck Mojo did a music video. in conjunction with WCW.
Rising.
So yes, right. So we were in a wrestling
Every
ring.
wrestler in WCW was in that video.
Every single one of
Yeah.
them. Yes.
Speaking of Diamond Dallas Page, he was at the beginning. Oh,
Exactly right.
They're
Yes.
locked, cocked, and ready to rock, or whatever he said. Yeah.
You know it. So that's how I met Chris, is through those guys. And then I had a band called Fozzy Osbourne, which was a cover band. Played 80s metal cover stuff, and when I met Chris, we had a great kind of kinship and liked the same bands. Even the bands you're not supposed to admit that you like, we like those same bands.
You know, it's funny you say that because one of my close friends is a professional wrestler, Bubba Ray Dudley, or Bully Ray.
One of the greatest of all time.
Right, yeah, with Team 3D, or the Dudley Boys. And so we actually bonded over music. Like, he came in, this was during not the last run of the WWE, but before that. I mean, this is years and years ago. And I'm at a rock station in Orlando, and he comes in to promote the event that I was going to, and I was very excited, being a wrestling mark, you know. And he comes in, and we just start talking glam rock. You know, I'm a big Poison fan. And we bonded, and I was doing a gig that night and giving away tickets, and he ended up showing up. We ended up doing shots of Jack. And it's funny because these, you know, like, especially wrestlers, they love rock. They love rock and roll, and they don't want to talk about wrestling. They want to talk about rock, but the rest of us would rather talk about wrestling.
Yes. Well, it makes for a good communication, right?
Sure.
Because in between we can kind of. By the way, can I just bring up? We're not sure which is a greater shame to humanity, vegetarianism, or being a Poison fan.
I've been on stage with Poison and sang nothing but a good time, not once, but twice. And please don't YouTube it, because it's one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. I'm like 40 pounds heavier. I'm wearing an Affliction shirt.
Nothing wrong with either one of those things. No offense to people who are 40 pounds overweight.
I would rather be 40 pounds overweight than wear an Affliction shirt ever again. And I'm taking center stage while I've got Bubba Ray's on stage. Brad from Three Doors is in the back, doesn't know any of the words of the songs. Edwin McCain is on stage, and I'm in the middle of it, reenacting the video from whatever year, doing, you know. So anyway, that's my Poison story. So you know, you connected with Chris, and then Fozzy came about.
Right. Yeah, we started off as a cover band. It was basically, we were Steel Panther. If we were a gimmick band, we wore costumes. We were like Steel Panther was before there was a Steel Panther, in that we were basically an 80s metal tribute band. We wore costumes, had fake names, and we played all over the country, playing Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Twisted Sister, Motley Crue, Ozzy Osbourne songs. And then in 2004, Chris said,
"Did you get beat up for the name?"
Yeah, because originally I think there was this question, can we continue on as Fozzy Osbourne, or will we get sued? Or should we just change the name? And you know, when you're just far enough, like if you decided to change the name of your podcast several episodes in, you're like, well, there's a little bit of momentum, so let's just keep it. So we called it Fozzy.
Yeah, smart move. Good move. Yeah.
So we could always go back to Fozzy Osbourne someday if we wanted to. But yeah.
And then you guys put it together, and you know, I know Chris always wanted to be a lot of those. Yeah, like going back to Bubba Ray.
She started a band with Bubba.
Well, he always wanted to be a drummer, you know, so he had a drum kit in his house, and I don't think the guy ever used it, you know. But, you know, we always want to be something. Trust me, if I had any musical talent in these bones, I would want to be a musician. I would give probably at least two of my fingers to be able to play one song as well as you play guitar. I tried to play guitar one time, and I said I was going to start a band called 3 Seconds of Awesomeness, because I knew 3 seconds of 3 songs. And that was about it. I couldn't figure it out. But you guys get together, and then, like I said, the last album with Judas just really exploded. And that song just was huge. Why do you think that is?
I think it was it took a while for us to get over the hump of transitioning from this cover band that wore costumes, and we had a professional wrestler as a vocalist. There was so much stuff that when you start things and you don't have a long vision. We were just in the moment, enjoying playing with each other and doing gigs, playing these songs. And then once we made this transition to an all-original band, and we said, okay, we want to be judged on our own merits, and the music industry basically said, not so much. You know,
you have a wrestler for a lead singer. What are you doing?
That's exactly right. So I think we had the right song and the right album at the time, at a point in time where we had had beaten the industry over the head for so long that they just said, man, this guy Jericho's a great singer. He's an amazing front man. Wow, he's been at it for 20 years. Maybe this is for real.
Right.
And I think it's a thing that guys like Keanu Reeves and some of these other kind of celebrities who have bands, they don't stay with it long enough to overcome it's just a celebrity vanity project.
Right.
Jericho stayed in this band for 20 years, and we toured every year playing all over the planet. And after a while, he just earned everybody's respect. He's the real deal.
Yeah, and when you guys go out on tour, if you follow either Rich or Fozzy or Jericho on social media, you guys are playing these huge festivals with these huge bands, and it looks like now I don't know what it was before, but you're just part of the crew. I mean, it's you're part of the lineup. I'm guessing. I mean, you've been in the business a long time. We referenced Stuck Mojo before, but when you guys first went out on the road with some of these bands, they were probably giving you the weird eye, huh?
Well, they were all, just like you said, all these rock fans from these other bands were big fans of Jericho. So even if they didn't quite respect the band, they loved Chris, which was always, and most of these bands were big Stuck Mojo fans. So even if they were a little hesitant to get behind the band Fozzy with the wrestler as the front man, we had respect because Fozzy's the band was the guys from Stuck Mojo, and they loved Chris the Entertainer, and so at least it opened up the door for them to give us a chance.
Yeah,
and we're a great live band. I mean, it's not like it's Chris and some high school friends of his that are playing. I mean, all of us that are in Fozzy came from Stuck Mojo and other bands that were successful on our own. So, and when you're a guy who can control 20,000 people from a wrestling ring,
right,
and that is rare air up there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
you get a lot of lead singers that, they try to work the crowd and it doesn't go over well.
No, because they don't understand.
They don't.
It's an art.
It is. I mean, the mind F. That's why. I always say, I'm a wrestling fan, and some people, like, dude, you're a grown man. Why are you a wrestling fan? Well, as being in the entertainment business for 25 plus years, it's the only entertainment medium that you can mind F a crowd live or on television. It's amazing. You know what I mean? So the way they were able to do that, and Chris is one of the best at doing that.
Absolutely.
Sheed, you tell me, sir. I'm looking over, and both Rich and I are smelling the Norwegian salmon and the wings that you're putting on. You pre-prepared. Is that a pre-prepared? Is that right? Pre-prepared? You pre-did?
I pre-did them.
You pre-did the wings.
I pre-did the wings.
With the AP.
With the AP rub, just
all-purpose
like
rub.
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. So
have we also acknowledged how handsome Sheed is?
You see why I'm over here? The camera can't catch me. I got a face for radio.
Oh no, we got a 2-camera shoot now. This is this might be episode 1 of Shoot the Grill, but we're highbrowing it. We're making things work with technology.
This could be my major break I've been looking for.
So,
Allstate, I can be your guys' new voiceover if you need it.
So the salmon looks phenomenal as well.
Thank you.
And that, like we were talking about earlier, it only is going to take, 5 to 10 minutes?
Yeah, 5 to 10.
Because you don't flip salmon.
No. You flip salmon, and then salmon gets into your smoker, and that's in your salmon.
You want to take it off right when it's flaking, when you can take, right where you can take a knife or a fork and go in between and it flakes off.
Exactly. So right when those edges start to crisp up, you only got a little bit longer to go.
Do you even cook, Rich?
Of course I cook. I mean, I'm not.
Can you actually cook vegetables, or is it just steaming? I feel like it's a lot more steaming than actual cooking.
Well,
does he cook at the house? Oh, he does. Okay. Oh, what do you cook?
I am the cook. I am the chef.
So you cook meat?
No.
You're both
we're both vegetarians, but we have our main weapon is a wok.
That was a wok.
Yes. So we stir fry everything.
That's like that's a vegetable cooking machine.
It is a vegetable cooking machine. And we're also, I will say that, because we need protein, we're a big egg family. And
eggs and vegetables in the wok?
Well, we don't do them together. Weird. We segregate the eggs and the vegetables. We like to keep them separate.
Dude, it's 2019. You shouldn't segregate the eggs.
You can't see.
Tell him, Sheed. Tell him.
Sorry about that. The egg lobby's coming out for me.
Time's up.
Big egg.
Time's up, Rich Ward. Time's up. We're not doing that anymore. Okay, well, here's the great thing. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do this podcast is because I've got a Kamado Joe on my grill. On my deck. And I'll have people over. And everybody kind of congregates around the grill. And as I still continue to learn how to grill different things, and I've gotten pretty damn good at it, truth be told. Ask anybody that's come over and had the Bailey Flying Hawaiian Turkey Burgers or my wings with the rotisserie, which is awesome. But it's such a, like a centerpiece, a water cooler. People congregate around it. You get some drinks. I mean, we're doing waters right now. As these podcasts progress, I'm guessing there is going to be beer. I'm a vodka guy. Those things supplied to us. It's just such it's a hangout spot, and the food is amazing. And I was like, if I can mix a little bit of the grilling and a little bit of something else, in this case, rock and roll and good times and a good conversation with friends, then this is going to work. But if you look at the top of that Kamado Joe right now, and you see that food, that's world peace waiting to happen right there. You know what I mean? You put a big Kamado Joe in the middle of the earth, dude, everybody's going to get along.
You know what the KJ reminds me of?
What?
You remember the guy in the neighborhood working on his car Saturday morning?
Yeah.
Not getting anywhere with it?
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, 20 guys pop up. They're all doing the same thing?
Yeah.
That's what the KJ is.
Yeah, or just a grill in general. I mean, I talk about the KJ often. I mean, you got a lot of them here at Atlanta Grill Company. They sell a lot of them, of course, but that's the one I got at the house. But, next episode or future episodes of the podcast, we've got, and I know nothing about the Yoder. Actually, I was going to buy the Yoder, right, Jason? That's the pellet grill, right? Yeah. So that's the beast of the pellet. And then you got the Napoleon here. I got one of these. This is a propane. Yeah. I got one of these for the cabin. And the way that this cooks, and I've cooked on it, it's amazing. So, we'll do different things each episode. So. Hey, give us 30 seconds so we can thank some good people for making this happen. A big thanks to Jarrett with Oxendine Law Firm, oxlawfirm.com. What does Jarrett do? Well, Jarrett will take care of any divorce that you might be thinking about having. He handles divorces in the state of Georgia and especially the greater Atlanta area. oxlawfirm.com. Thanks, Jarrett. See, that wasn't bad. Now back to the Shoot to Grill podcast. It's pretty cool. What's the time frame on this?
We've got about 2 minutes on that salmon.
2 minutes on the salmon.
2 minutes on that salmon.
Everybody, we got people waiting to eat. I got plates and I got forks and I got ready to rock and roll. So when you guys are out on tour, you eat all backstage. If you're trying to eat healthy, is that a problem?
No, actually, she and I were talking. In the States, the catering is not. Usually, they will bring catering in from outside, whereas in Europe, every venue has a kitchen and has an on-site chef.
Oh, really?
So the food is amazing. Nice. And it's literally the best food we've ever, because the chefs want to cook for the bands. It's like a sense of pride for them. And a lot of the chefs we've seen for years and years, every time we come back, it's the same chef.
So what's your go-to? Like, who's your favorite chef when you're in Europe?
Oh, well, I mean.
Okay, no, let me rephrase that. Okay, yeah. Who's one of your favorite chefs when you're in Europe?
There's a venue in Switzerland called the Z7. It's a real famous venue, and the lady, God, I don't know her name. I'm sorry. Sorry, lady from the Z7.
Lady Chef Z7.
But it's always like this elaborate spread where it starts off with cheeses and breads, and then it moves on to salads, and then it moves on to meats and vegetables and soups and desserts, and everything's hand. I mean, that's the best thing about traveling, and you were dead on. The best thing about cooking and food is that, like, civilization is based around that kind of communal.
Yeah, it's like a social beer.
Exactly right.
Absolutely.
Everyone comes together over a meal. When I'm on tour, I lose a lot of weight because 2,000, 2,500 calories a night lost on stage just entertaining. And when I come home, if I'm home from tour for a couple of months, I will put on 10 pounds because my wife and I's ritual is all about like socializing over food. It's the greatest thing.
Yeah, well, I try to eat healthy, and that's another thing. Grilling is a good way to eat healthy. Now, when you're smoking stuff, you know, like the ribs or pork butts, whatever, you know, they've got fat, and you know,
nothing wrong with fat.
You know,
body needs it.
Yeah, but you know, you can shave it off, and maybe future episodes of the podcast, you know, that would be a work in progress. You know, Sheed would have to smoke that way early. You know what I mean? And then we would get the later part of that. But you know, you shave that off, and he can show you how to do that. I had to go to YouTube, and there's like plenty of these grillers. You know, I'm watching some dude, you know, talk for 20 minutes about shaving fat off this meat, and I'm like, oh Jesus, Mary Joe's. You can tell this is the first episode because I forgot a spatula. I just saw my wife run in and grab one and bring it out to you. I was like, damn, I thought Nate and I had everything today. We forgot the damn utensils. We got the water, we got the look, everything is good. But I think we're getting ready to get the salmon and bring it out.
Hey, Sheed, while you're over there, tell us about the spice rub. I'm kind of curious on what's going on with this thing.
It's the AP, man. It's the all-purpose.
I need to
It's
know.
the all-purpose. It's got a lot of little stuff in there.
Are these for us?
You may remember, you may recognize, but as we talked about off camera earlier, I travel a lot, and my thing that I collect, my collectible is spices and herbs and things like that, legal herbs.
It's not hemp seasoning right here.
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that. Haven't been to Amsterdam in a while. But it's going to have some stuff you may use too. Some things that you may have in your pantry at home. Some salt, some pepper, maybe a little bit of paprika, a couple other little things in there. You know, we both share a love for garlic, so I've got some dehydrated garlic that I do myself in there.
So you make this yourself?
I do make it myself. This isn't a go to the store and
how the hell do you
grab
make?
it.
How the hell do you make all these? I mean, you just sit at home in the kitchen and just start. I mean, like that's.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
It's like
of
a
time.
garage thing, right?
It's a labor of love, but I love doing it. So it doesn't feel like any work. You hand grind it. You find some. I use a lot of coffee machines. Coffee grinders are great for breaking down like whole peppercorn. Perfect. So
okay. Yeah. So you're like, I mean, that's hardcore seasoned spice guy stuff.
My peppercorn whole, then grind it, put it in my rubs.
Don't ever say you smoke your peppercorn whole loud outside.
It's 2019.
That's so weird. I just got really uncomfortable. I got to tell you.
I apologize. I
I
flavor my peppercorn.
And people can get this sheet on phillipsbarbecueco.com.
They can, or they can come on down here whenever we're filming, grab a bottle, and go.
Oh yeah, maybe it'll get to that at some point.
I hope so.
All right, so we're ready for the salmon.
We are ready for the salmon.
What's the time on the wings?
The wings, we're gonna have at least another 10 to 15 on the wings because we're smoking the wings on the outer perimeter of the KJ because we don't want that direct heat to just burn them to a crisp. All
right, so what we're gonna have to do with the wings, because we're gonna wrap up this episode, we're gonna eat some salmon, and then we'll have a post video of the wings. But I promise you, the wings are going to be amazing.
They are.
They're going to be absolutely amazing. All right. So we want to bring the – can you grab those?
Yeah, I can.
For future episodes, if you want to bring a crowd, you and I could do an acoustic duo.
Oh, I can sing me something.
Oh, I know you can.
I'll
learn 4 Poison songs.
Look at that. Look at that.
That looks amazing.
Here, let me grab you a fork. I did remember that today. Here you go. I got to tell you, this looks absolutely amazing. It's – it's going to be kind of tough,
a little bit,
maybe to see, but obviously
we know how good it looks.
Obviously, keep the skin on the bottom.
Of course,
I'm a fan of the skin.
I am too.
Because when you cook it, you don't want it to flake apart.
Exactly, and the skin helps protect you. If it gets a little bit too hot, the skin can help cheat it, so you still keep the meat and everything nice and moist and tender.
So here's something interesting, and this is because you're so good at what you do, is you can see the coloring of the salmon. When it's too pink, it's not done, but you don't want to overkill it and dry it out. This perfect, almost kind of darkened orange, that's not just a seasoning. You've cooked it to perfection.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. It's good to know you know your meat.
Am I right?
You do.
Okay.
That's right. You're 100%
I was
right.
told that I have to sound smart on these things, and I was like, look, I'm going to cover my bases. I've done this microphone thing for a while. I know to cover my ass.
That's true.
If I get somebody that's a professional cooker, like that's good. I got somebody to strike up a conversation with, like Rich. We'll talk rock and roll. Then all I got to do is kind of referee the whole damn thing.
There you go.
But I actually sounded pretty damn smart with that one.
No, you knew what you're doing.
Yeah.
I was completely convinced.
Salmon was. I don't know if I should say this in front of my wife, who's out there, but salmon was one of my go-to date meals.
Oh.
Like,
Uh-oh.
yeah,
You guys can't see the look on her face right now.
You know, like I was like, it was a risk that I was going. I cooked it for her, but then I just got the no, you never cooked it for me look.
That's because you never intended to only date her.
Correct. That's right. Thank you, Rich. That's exactly right. You know what? If she would have let me finish before she gave me that look, that's what I was about to say. All right, let's dig in. All right. Here's the Norwegian salmon again from mobilemeatandseafood.com. Thanks to Terry for bringing us this
Terry.
food. Yeah. These are good cuts of meat, too.
This has to be one of the best looking salmon I've had.
Oh, it was hot. Oh, my God. I'm not supposed to eat in the microphone, but...
That's good stuff right there.
Oh, my God.
I'm slowly bringing you back over to the meat side. I'm slowly bringing you back over.
That is amazing. Nate, you want to bite of this? I know you're helping out and everything, but you've done a really good job of putting this first episode together.
Amazing. Thank you, Nate.
Yeah. Oh, my God. And I'm eating the skin on the bottom. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So a lot of people will skin it out, flip it up. Mm-hmm. That skin is amazing. That's where probably all the good stuff's in there.
It is because I rub both sides. Can't just rub one side. Got to even it out.
And when it's not cooked right, the skin is slimy, which is why people remove it.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's yummy and crispy. And
it's kind of a little burnt, right? A little burnt. Absolutely amazing. All right. I think it's a. Look at that guy. Look at Rich.
That's the type of response I love when my food has.
There's some waters for you too. Also inside they have Georgia engraving, which they were nice enough to do me a Yeti cup.
Oh, nice.
With the Shoot to Grill logo.
I need to get one of those Georgia engraving.
Yeah. So future episodes. Excuse me. There's going to be different things happening. Ryan with CreateGraphix.net, who did our banner for us, is going to start supplying some stuff. So the more people that listen, the more stuff that we're going to have. So, again, we're going to wrap things up here from Atlanta Grill Company. If I don't die, I think I got a seasoning stuck in my throat. But Atlanta Grill Company here in Roswell, Georgia. Can't thank Jason and the crew enough for allowing us to make this our headquarters for the podcast. Sheed, thank you so much. PhillipsBarbecueCo.com. Anything you want to finish up with while I grab a drink of water?
Thank you guys for having me out. I appreciate it. I can't wait to do many, many more. And to every smoker out there, don't squeeze your meat.
It's going to be just you and I next time because he is definitely not going to make it.
Doesn't seem like he's going to make it out there.
I don't think I'm going to make it, man.
Yeah, don't worry, I got this. I'm going to have to start eating pork.
Hey.
When you say every smoker out there, Nate, our producer's head just popped up. He's like, that's me, bro. And then Rich Ward with Fozzy, of course. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for being our first guest. Dude, I got a piece of seasoning stuck. I want to die after the first episode.
It's a very short-lived show.
I know. It was a great run, fellas. All right, we'll see you in episode 2. Thanks for listening. Thanks
Call
for watching.
911.
We'll see you. Bye. Thanks to CreateGraphix.net for all the signage and the shirts that they supply for us here on the Shoot to Grill podcast. Now, are you in need of some signage or shirts or maybe something for your company? You don't have to be here in Atlanta where we do the podcast to get hooked up with CreateGraphix.net.